So what would it be like if you could invite Jesus over for dinner? Did you know that you actually can? Jesus said, invite the needy to dinner. Good morning and welcome to 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about easy to remember soundbite versions of what Jesus said. And the point is to help you experience life to the fullest, the Jesus way. Today's Jesus Said comes from Luke 14, 12 through 14, and you can find that at our Bible plan at bible.today.church. But this morning, we're going to read verse 1 for a little bit of context here, and we'll be reading from the New Living Translation, where Luke 14:1, one Sabbath day, Jesus went to eat dinner in the home of a leader of the Pharisees, and the people were watching him closely. Now, this was an important thing. Shabbat Shalom is a phrase that was used, and to enter someone's house on Sabbath was a big deal. To be invited was a great honor. There was a lot of preparation, a ritual. If you've watched The Chosen, you see how Sabbath is displayed there. The movie or musical Fiddler on the Roof has some of the same stuff. And so in verse 7 of Luke 14, everyone is trying to get the good seats at this Sabbath meeting, the seats of honor. So in response, here's part of the teaching that Jesus gave. Luke 14, 12 through 14. Then he turned to his host. When you put on a luncheon or banquet, he said, don't invite your friends, brothers, relatives, and rich neighbors, for they will invite you back, and that will be your only reward. Instead, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind. Then at the resurrection of the righteous, God will reward you for inviting those who could not repay you. So understanding this in context as a Sabbath meeting, this was a weekly worship experience. And they had kind of turned it into a private party. It was an honor to be invited, but also consider that for at least the first couple of centuries, a gathering of believers or the church was much like this. It included a meal like a Sabbath gathering. In fact, they called it an agape feast, a love feast. But when we gather together, luncheon, banquet, meeting, whatever, it's not a private party. It's almost like Jesus is saying, don't have private parties just for insiders. Invite the needy, those who don't fit, those who can't pay you back for your generosity. So instead of just inviting people that are like you, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind. That's where the heavenly reward is. Private parties make us feel good, but that's the only reward that we'll ever get. Temporary. But when we invite the needy to dinner, the rewards are eternal. And often we treat this command like it's optional. But Jesus didn't say every once in a while when you put on an event. He said, when? Now, part of our vision at Today Church is we are all about people. Everything is an outreach. Everyone has a place. And yeah, we've done a couple of community meals. We have helped and supported some homeless ministries and other missions like that. But this command isn't about special events or special ministry endeavors. It's about a lifestyle of hospitality, welcoming guests. And we talk about a guest mentality rather than a visitor mentality. What does that mean? Well, you prepare for and expect guests. Visitors just show up. Are we ready for guests? Are we prepared for them? Are we inviting and expecting them? So the question is, who are you inviting? You know, if someone important was going to be a dinner guest in your home, you would probably clean things up, put out the good dishes and name brand paper plates or whatever. Well, you would do your best to make a good impression. And Jesus said that when we do good for the needy, we are actually doing it unto and for Jesus. That means Jesus could show up at any of our events. He might be represented by someone poor, crippled, lame, blind, an outcast. Who is that? That's Jesus. That's what he said. So shouldn't the unexpected guests be our VIPs? I'm challenged every time I read this. Who am I inviting? Who am I expecting? Who am I welcoming to my private little parties? Well, Jesus said, invite the needy to dinner. How can you put that into action today? Thank you so much for listening. I hope this is meaningful to you, and it does mean a lot to me when you like it, when you share it, when you comment. I really appreciate you. I hope that you have an amazing day, and I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest, the Jesus way. And remember, follow Jesus today. Love first.